I want you to know something before I say anything else. The fact that you are here right now, that you clicked on this, that some part of you reached towards something instead of away from everything, that matters. That is not nothing. That is actually one of the most important things a person can do when everything feels like it is falling apart. Reaching towards something, anything, even if it is just a video on a screen. That instinct to reach is not weakness, it is the part of you that has not given up. And I need you to listen to that part today, because it knows something the rest of you has temporarily forgotten. So let me say it directly, the way I would say it to someone sitting across from me. I see you. I see what you are carrying, and I am not going to tell you that everything is fine, because you already know it is not. I am not going to cover this moment in hollow positivity. What I am going to do is tell you the truth, the full, evidence-based, irrefutable truth about what hopelessness actually is and what it is not. Because understanding the difference might be the thing that carries you through to the other side of this. Hopelessness is not a verdict. It is a weather system. It is a state, real, painful, heavy, suffocating, but a state, not a permanent condition. It feels permanent because that is what hopelessness does. It colonizes your perception of time and convinces you that because you cannot see a way forward right now, no way forward exists. It takes the present darkness and extrapolates it infinitely into the future. It whispers that this is just how it is now, that this is just who you are now, that the life you wanted is something that happens to other people and not to you. Every single word of that is a lie, and I can prove it. Welcome to Motivation Daily. This one is for the person at the bottom. Think about Nick Vujicic, born without arms, born without legs. His parents, deeply loving people, were so shattered by his condition when he arrived that his mother initially could not hold him, not because she did not love him, but because the grief was so overwhelming it paralyzed her. Nick grew up being bullied relentlessly, unable to do the most basic things other children did without thinking. By the time he was 8 years old, he was contemplating suicide. At 10, he attempted it. He is now one of the most sought-after motivational speakers on the planet. He has addressed over 3 million people in person across more than 70 countries. He is married, he has children, he swims and surfs and golfs, and lives a life so full and so joyful that it redefines what full and joyful even mean. Not because his circumstances changed, he still has no arms, he still has no legs, because his relationship to his circumstances changed, because he found a reason, because he held on long enough for the hopelessness to pass and for something else, something real and sustainable and his, to grow in its place. Or think about Abraham Lincoln, a man whose life reads like a catalog of catastrophic failure. Business failed, ran for the legislature and lost. Business failed again. His fiancée died. He had a nervous breakdown so severe that his friends took all sharp objects out of his home because they feared for his life. Lost races for the Senate not once but twice. Lost the race for vice president. Lost another Senate race. By any external measure of his life at 50 years old, Abraham Lincoln was a broken, failed, deeply depressed man whose best days were clearly behind him.
He was elected President of the United States at 51. He led a nation through its most devastating internal conflict. He abolished slavery. He is remembered as one of the greatest leaders in human history. And he was a man who, at multiple points in his life, could not see a reason to continue. The hopelessness he felt was real. It did not predict his future. Let me speak now to the specific texture of what you might be feeling, because hopelessness is not one thing. It wears different faces. Sometimes it looks like exhaustion so deep that moving feels physically impossible. Sometimes it looks like grief that has settled into every corner of your life and will not be reasoned away. Sometimes it looks like the accumulation of loss after loss after loss until you stop believing that the tide can turn, because every time you thought it was turning, something else went wrong. Sometimes it looks like the quiet, grinding conviction that you are fundamentally different from the people whose lives seem to work, that there is something in you that is broken in a way that cannot be fixed, that the good things other people have are simply not in the cards for someone like you. I want to speak to each of those directly. The exhaustion is real, and it is not a character flaw. It is the result of carrying too much for too long without enough support. The grief is real, and it deserves to be honored, not rushed, not bypassed, not buried under forced positivity. The accumulated losses are real, and the pattern you think you see in them is not actually a law of your universe. It is a series of events that your brain, in its desperate attempt to make sense of pain, has connected into a narrative of inevitability that does not actually exist. And that conviction that you are broken, that is the cruelest lie hopelessness tells. Because the very capacity you have to feel this deeply, to care this much about the gap between the life you have and the life you want, to be in this much pain about how things have gone, that capacity is not evidence of being broken. It is evidence of being fully, completely, irreducibly alive. Broken people do not feel this. Broken people have gone numb. You have not gone numb. You are in pain. And pain means the thing is still alive in you. The hope is still in there underneath the hopelessness, not gone, just buried, just waiting. So here is what I am asking you to do. Not tomorrow, not once things feel better, but right now, in this moment, in exactly the condition you are in. I am asking you to do one thing, just one. Not fix everything, not feel better, not figure out the whole path forward. One thing. One small, concrete, real act that is a vote for the version of you that survives this. Call someone. Step outside for 5 minutes. Drink a glass of water. Write down one sentence about what you want your life to look like when this passes, because it will pass. Put your hand on your chest and feel your heart beating, and acknowledge that it is still fighting for you, even when you have stopped fighting for yourself. One thing. That is all that is required of you in this moment. Not a plan, not a transformation. One vote for the side of you that reaches instead of retreats. You are not at the end. You are in the hardest part of the middle. And the hardest part of the middle is still the middle, which means there is more story left. Stay for it. If someone you love is going through something dark right now, share this with them today. It might be the thing that reaches them. Subscribe to Motivation Daily. We show up every single day for the people who are fighting to stay. Drop a comment if you are willing. Tell me one thing you are holding on for. Your reason might be the reason someone else finds theirs. We are in this together. Let's go.